Malik Scott survives a ninth round knockdown to outpoint Tony Thompson via unanimous decision over 10. Now, apart from the fourth round, which I gave to Thompson, and the ninth round, which Thompson scored the knockdown in, I personally gave Malik Scott every other round. I felt like he pretty much schooled Tony Thompson in there. He was hitting him almost at will a lot of the time. The straight right hand down the pipe was there. He was throwing in jabs here and there, mixing in some nice body shots, and he was also landing quite frequently with this strange, awkward kind of overarm left hook that was catching Thompson on the side of his head. He'd obviously trained specifically to use that punch against a tall southpaw, and it was working very well for him. And he was just far too slick, quick, and youthful for Tony Thompson. Far too skillful as well. Tony Thompson is a technician. He does have a decent amount of boxing skills, but he's never been a slickster. And in my pre-fight video, I talked about whether it was going to be the work rate of Tony Thompson and his strength and his experience, or whether it was going to be the youth, the slickness, and the extra speed and athleticism of Malik Scott that was going to win the day. And obviously, Malik Scott came out on top. It wasn't, personally, I don't feel like it was a boring fight. It seemed like there was about 10 people in the audience. And when it's that kind of dead atmosphere, the atmosphere was like a morgue. When it's that kind of dead atmosphere, it does take away from the excitement. If you've got a really excited crowd, it can make the exact same fight seem more entertaining just because of the atmosphere. And this fight had no atmosphere. So I don't think it was a terrible fight. It wasn't that boring. Scott was landing nice, clean shots on a frequent basis, hard shots too. Not like he's an especially big puncher, but you could hear the shots cracking into Thompson's head. And there was a couple times there where I think he did stun Tony Thompson briefly. So I felt like it was an okay fight. It was decent. Thompson, again, really wasn't landing anything clean. He was trying to land body shots when he would have Malik Scott on the ropes, but quite a lot of the time Scott was spinning off. As soon as Thompson would get on top of him, Scott would spin out and get back to the center of the ring and continue his long-range, slick boxing. Good stuff from Malik Scott, to be honest with you. And as I say, Thompson had his moment finally in the ninth round where he landed a right hook, which dropped Malik Scott. And the funny thing about it, Scott went down quite heavily, but he didn't seem that hurt from the shot. His eyes seemed clear. It just seemed like a flash knockdown in the sense that he seemed okay. He didn't seem that buzzed. It was towards the end of the round, to be fair. So when he got up, he survived, and then the round ended. But even when he came out for the 10th, he didn't look like a guy that was still buzzed. His head seemed clear to me anyway. If he was buzzed, he's pretty good at hiding it because he didn't seem like he was in trouble. So yeah, it was a fairly heavy knockdown, but Malik Scott recovered extremely quickly from it and was able to continue and see out the 10th round and get the job done. So all in all, a good performance by Malik Scott. A lot of people are going to say it was boring or whatever. Scott is a technician. He's never going to be a Deontay Wilder. He's never going to be, whoever, an aggressive type heavyweight. He's a slick star. That's who he is. That's who he's always going to be. And that's how you have to assess his fights going forward. How many guys out there in the heavyweight division do you think Malik Scott can out-slick? There's the possibility of a rematch with Wilder. They were talking about that. Wilder was actually in attendance at ringside, part of the commentary team on PBC on a channel called Bounce. It's not a channel I've ever heard of before, but there you go. The fight was on Bounce. There's a possibility that he could fight Wilder again. And there's a whole heap of other American heavyweights on the scene at the moment. You got Amir Mansour, but after Amir Mansour's outbursts against Al Heyman, I'm not sure if he's going to get another chance in any kind of PBC card anytime soon. So you got other guys out there. Andy Ruiz is up and coming, but he's a top-ranked guy. So again, I think that's fairly unlikely. So you got to look at maybe Eddie Chambers and Malik Scott, two technicians again. And for those of you who are boxing purists, for those of you who like to see skills, you might actually like that fight. Eddie Chambers is recently signed to Al Heyman as well. So they could make that as some type of eliminator for Deontay Wilder. Now, just before I close out the video, Deontay Wilder was asked about who he would like to fight out of Tony Thompson and Malik Scott. He said he would prefer to fight Tony Thompson. This is while the fight was still going on. And they asked him who he's going to fight next. And Deontay Wilder had indicated over the past few weeks that he was going to take another fight before having to face his mandatory Alexander Povetkin. Well, he seems to have let that idea go, because when they asked him at ringside, who are you going to fight next? He said, I'm probably going to fight in January, and I look forward to fighting my mandatory Alexander Povetkin. So they had wanted to take a fight in between, but according to what he said there, it seems like he might have to just go straight into the Povetkin fight. Anyway, people, let me know what you felt about this fight if you watched it. How do you assess Malik Scott's performance? Do you think Tony Thompson is finished at 44 years of age? A lot of people were saying that Thompson didn't look himself. He was painfully slow. Thompson's always been very slow. You know, what I saw going into this fight is there was no way that I saw Tony Thompson outboxing Malik Scott. No way. If he was gonna beat Malik Scott, he was either gonna have to overwhelm him with work rate or knock him out. I never saw him outboxing Malik Scott. Malik Scott's far too slick for someone as slow as Tony Thompson to outbox him. You know, Malik Scott is not David Price. Price is a lot more stiff, not as slick, you know. So Thompson can box with a guy like Price. But someone like Malik Scott, nah. He was never going to be able to box with him. I don't care if this was the Thompson who beat Price or the Thompson who fought tonight or the Thompson who fought Takam. He was never going to outbox Malik Scott, in my opinion. So Thompson will probably just be a gatekeeper now for some of the younger prospects coming up. Would you like to see Tony Thompson maybe step in the ring with one of these young guys or a few of these young guys? Some people might say the winner of Anthony Joshua against Dylan White maybe could fight Tony Thompson as a way to introduce themselves to fringe world level, because you got to figure that Thompson's kind of a gatekeeper now. He's lost to quite a few people. So, yeah, drop your comments in the comment section below, people. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts and opinions on this fight and where you see both fighters going forward. All right? It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.